Hello, YouTube. I am Shaggy. I am storyteller, and I am recording again after file, please. You might overwhelm me. Oops. I threw that one a little hard, I think. I don't know how my narrow is when I just feel slow. I've done everything I could to keep the peace from the library, but now these things are everywhere, even in our archives below. These monsters are burning and destroying everything, with no respect for the knowledge of sacred scrolls. Oh, please stop them. That's what his accent kind of sounded like as he was reading that. That's something I've practiced, but I'm not going to say I'm good at it. I can't do accents on purpose, but I have tried to learn how they, all the different languages that I run into on the regular, pronounce their letters, their vowels especially, but their R's, their L's. Egyptian has their T's real hard. We kind of don't hit the moderate sound. experience. Okay. Did no one give me a quest for that family heirloom? Just have a some guy. Well, I must thank you, warrior. No, no, I feel it is my duty to repay your kindness. Don't refuse. Take this. See how I refused first? When in hospitality, the ancient rules of accepting gifts from strangers is that you were supposed to refuse first. That's why I don't ask for particular dollar amounts, and I try to refuse first, because that's how ancient humility worked. Trying to get back to the roots. This is a little nutty. Okay. That was a little nutty. But it's over now. We have 2 points to spend. Nuh-uh, this is a rogue weapon? Okay. Why? I don't know, but I'm using it. We'll give up Phantom Sting, which hurts me. I'm using that. That's just too cool not to. Oh, I forgot to spend 2 levels of points in here. That's funny. By we, I mean you. You forgot to spend 2 whole levels of points in here, audience. What were you thinking? It's about now. I don't know how that hammer is a rogue weapon, but we're using it. We'll have to replace our throwing axe. Actually, we can't. How is that a rogue weapon? It doesn't have a stabbing blade. We can't use that. It doesn't do piercing damage. The shrapnel poison bomb looks cool. The particle effect looks cool. Throw it down and then That looks cool. Diogenes, right? Diogenes is just alright with me, so. What about his friend? That's probably the way I came in. Haven't been down here yet. prowls at night. They talk of camels missing in the morning and caravans being attacked. Nobody's sure what it is, but they say it lives in a cave somewhere in Watchet Canyon. That's how he read that. I was doing it exactly the way he sounded, just not as loud. Crushing it. But yes, I don't know why we're going north. I don't know what's north of the north coast of Egypt, unless we're going south. But the map has been turned upside down. What are you doing, Shabs? Get your head in the game. freak me out. They were just out walking along the Nile floodplain and torches just started lighting themselves. What in the name of the gods? But I guess if you have actual gods, that kind of thing wouldn't surprise you. Really, it's Christianity that gets rid of the mystery about things happening. That made me seem like they shouldn't. That was cool. I wish the hero monsters also dropped heroically. What are you doing? Shaps, they're over there. What are you doing, buddy? I like that so much. Boom. I would also like it if the game were just a little bit faster. Here we are. You know, the funny thing about this game is there's like no real story. The quests are nominal at best. Like they're just called quests. Or they get rewards for them. There's no real reason to engage with them outside of things that would be a skill points or bags. The quirky way of exploring these little dungeons that the developers have made, clearing out all these monsters for the people of Greece. It's its own kind of fun. Why did you change targets from him? On we go. this is my day. I would be doing this or something like it anyways. At least I'm doing it live and I'm sharing it with you. If that's worth $1 to you, I'd appreciate it. If it's not, it's not. I'm not worried about it. I'm not going to think less of you for it. I'm not likely to think more of you for it. I'm not likely to think more of you for the $1, that is. I'm not likely to think less of you for it either. I'm inclined to think more or less of you based on what you say and what you do. So I'm inclined to think about you when you talk about why or that you gave. Then I'm inclined to think about you. Whether it's better or worse depends on what you say and who you are. I already feel gratitude for you. But I'm not likely to think less of you in general. I try to think the best about people. It's been hard on us. These monsters have made things hard. We don't have walls. We don't have city guards. Now, crocodiles that walk like men attack us nightly. That's how he was talking. Have you heard? A fierce breed of monsters has begun attacking our farms. True. I was unloading baskets of papyrus from my boat when I saw them. They crept out from the lodge along the river, then attacked our village. I won't even venture down to the water's edge after dusk. Stop talking to me. Ponytail like a unicorn. I want to know what that's about. It looks like I'm taking an ass whooping until you look at my health and it's like, oh, nope. Barely hurt me. I don't know why my defenses are so high, but I'm lying about it. I think it's because I'm wearing heavy armor. I got so many points in my class. Damn. Okay. Crocodiles that walk like men. Mace of heavy fire. Or heavy mace of fire. I'm not sure what order those words were in. Veteran's large axe or something. Probably deceleration. Bam, bam. Can you hold my axe for me? I toss it to you with high velocity, but how about this one? You? This is getting gruesome. Hello, boys, I return. You are the one who saved us from the reptilians. To us, you are the greatest hero. We do not have much, but please accept these things. No problem, sweetheart. You don't. This guy just asked me what brings a stranger like me to the Nile. He doesn't see what I'm doing? Hail, good hero, Imhotep asked us to watch for you. Just yesterday, this temple stood whole and complete. And now, look, it has been ransacked by a Delkin. We did all we could to stop him, but we were powerless against the ancient sorcerer. I do not know what he wanted. There are many mysteries which the Order of Prometheus guards mysteries from before the War of the Gods and Titans. Imhotep fled when the Telkin King, escaping some of the temple's most sacred texts. He left me with a message for you. He has gone to Memphis and waits for you there. Follow the Nile, and you will come to the great city. It was a strange and fearsome scene, I can tell you. I don't want to know. I do not need to know because I do not care. You understand? I do not care. You are not interesting to me. Die, Jabba boys. And then the game starts to get a little tedious at Egypt. I haven't played any of the Diablos past the first act either because it's just the second act, but more. I mean, rather, the second act is just the first act, but more. So the third act is just the first act, but more. And like, even Dragon Age 2 found itself in that loop by making itself basically a Diablo game, basically this, where it's all the same monsters. They just look slightly different. So if you're playing this for like visual stimulation and you want some variety, you're just not going to get visual variety. Like the difference in Egypt and Greece, as far as like the biomes, it's like some desert and palm trees, and river and marsh, but you got a lot of that in Greece. They're both Mediterranean biomes. There's like maybe 20 degrees of latitude between them. You can't, but you can practically see this spot in Egypt from Greece. And again, I don't know why we're going north. Because we were supposed to have landed on the coast of Egypt, somewhere around, unless we went all the way to Cairo down the river, and now we're going north. I don't know. Watch it. Her temple sites were in the north, so we are in the north for sure. But we're going north as well, and the Old Kingdom is also from the north. I'll just have to be leveled. What am I doing? What's happening? Thank you. This is not a bladed item. I don't know why I would use this as somebody who has the rogue mastery and would have access to gas bomb. I don't know why you would even use that. Oh no, we're just getting 6 points per level. We're getting more points per level is what it is. That's sweet. That said 6, and now it says 5. Weird. Maybe we're getting 5 level. Maybe it didn't say 6. Stun victims of lethal strike and greatly magnifies the impact of poison and bleeding damage caused by the attack. Yes. Learn to throw additional knives at once and cut down enemies with a lethal flurry of razor-sharp metal. Yes. Improved firing mechanism. Modification of the bolt trap increases number of bolts fired per round. Yes. And then we can come down here. Level 6. Level 2. Level 2. Let's go back, boys. chick who was sitting directly behind me is no longer sitting directly behind me, so we can do a little bit more talking. More importantly, I can get a little stoned. There are goings on in my life. I might have met someone. Which makes me think of the Flight of the Conchords song. We're both in love with a sexy lady, I think is what it's called. Jermaine says, I think I've met someone. Britt says, or no, Britt says, I think I met someone. And Jermaine goes, I think I've met someone too. And Britt goes, have you? And he goes, something to the effect of, I have, or whatever. I can't remember exactly how it goes. And then Britt asks Jermaine if it's one of those girls he met on the net. No, we really met. I don't know that I've really met her. I may have. I might have met somebody that's cool. Someone actually lets me talk to her. That's nice. Boys need that, whether they admit it or not. They need it so bad. There are a lot of boys out in the world who have turned themselves into girls so they can just talk to girls without being accused of sexual misconduct. And then they sexually misconduct themselves because they think that they're a protected class. They genuinely believe that they're not the thing they are because they've so dramatically altered themselves in order to fit in. And it's not my pathological demand avoidance that won't allow me to fit in. It's watching this happen over and over and over with my friends who just desperately wanted to fit in. So I stand as a beacon, as somebody who doesn't need to fit in. People will adjust to you. It's not actually a rigid wooden or otherwise rigid structure like, you know, the table with the holes in it, then the holes are shaped a different way, and then the blocks go into the holes. You know, that's a game that children play to learn spatial manipulation. It's not actually how reality works. Organics aren't like that. I don't know if you've ever stuck your finger in your nose, but it'll stretch around your nose. And then if you left your finger in there long enough, it would just adapt to it. That's what organics are like. We are not dead matter, like a wooden board with holes cut in it. So as such, I'm just the kind of guy who's always just liked having a girl to be sweet on. I think every guy likes to have a girl to be sweet on, but just a particular girl that I can just say, hey, I'm sweet on you and I like you a lot. I would like to forget that other girls exist, please. Maybe I'm old-fashioned in that way, but I am 38. I was born at a time between cultural transitions. So I was left to find my own way. Many of us in the year born in 1987 were many, a lot. It typifies my generation. I'm not unique. Really seems like all that is like really wailing on me, especially if you could hear the sound design. Just the ground, wow, just the noises wailing on me. It really seems like they're wailing on me, and then you you look up at my health, and I've gained health potions during the fight. It's like, where did those health potions even come from? Kim's like, we don't know. You're doing so well. We're just going to give them to you for that? Okay. There aren't health potions on that enemy's loot table, are there? No. No, there are not. Okay. I need to do something real quick. I had to really think about that a little bit. It's remarkable the number of women that I listen to sit in here and talk with their friends about just how utter shitty their boyfriends are to them. Just how rude they are to them and the way they talk to them. And I'm just like, why are you with him? It doesn't benefit you to be with somebody that speaks to you in that with that utter disdain. That dick cannot be that good, and you understand that every male has available biogenetics or bioavailable genetic material, right? Like, why him? His money? He doesn't even make good money. His mom? You like his mom? I don't get it. This girl back behind me, I'm trying to talk over at this point, but she is talking mad shit about how her boyfriend talks to her. And her friend is just getting all upset, like, my boyfriend, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, why? Why are you with them? You know you can date outside your age group, right? You don't have to date an immature dickhead just because he's in your math class. There are reasons that I'm singing and talking about just now meeting a girl. One of them is my homelessness. And the other is that when people tell me how to talk or what to talk about or they're rude to me, I tell them they don't get to do that and then they ghost me. That happened in several years, but that is what always happens. This one girl I was talking to matched on Tinder, OkCupid or whatever, Bumble, whatever, and we're talking. And she tells me that she doesn't like one of the words I used. And I said, well, I don't like when people passive-aggressively tell me how to talk. Or passive-aggressively tell me how I'm allowed to talk, rather. She matched me for sure. Because in her mind, a man can only talk to a woman like that if he knows he's more attractive than she is. Because women think that we're only polite to them if we're attracted to them. And it's like on some level, men, these boyfriends of these women that I'm listening to right now, condition them that they're only sweet on them when they want sex. They're only kind to them. They're only polite. They only even try to make an effort at seeming like they're not shitheads when they want sex. Women are just supposed to be okay with this. Well, they are okay with it because they've been conditioned to let it happen. And listen to them let it happen all the time. They do the, well, I just won't give him sex. And it's like, well, get it elsewhere. Because you've been conditioned to think that if a guy talks to you like you're a piece of dirt, that he wants sex from you. And that what you do is you give him the sex and then he'll be sweet on you. And it's like, wow. It's like, maybe if I just give my bully my lunch money, he won't beat me up. No, sweetheart. He's going to take your lunch money and then he's going to beat you up for the fun of it. Because he doesn't want your lunch money. He wants to beat you up. He doesn't want the sex. He wants somebody to dismiss and treat like dog shit. Because he's not allowed to do it to his mother. Because he knows his dad will beat his ass. And you're too much of a coward to tell your dad the way he talks to you. Because you know that your dad talks to you that way, or your dad will flip out and end him. Because that's unacceptable. Unacceptable behavior to speak to somebody's daughter with the disdain these girls describe. Unacceptable behavior. Dads are all pussies now. They don't want to do a few hours in jail because they whooped the ass of somebody else's kid. They don't want a few hours of jail time on your record. And what did you do? When your corporate job asks you, well, why did you spend an afternoon in jail? Why did you miss that call that we sent you? And you go, oh, well, there's this kid who runs his mouth at my daughter and talks to her like she's less than human. So I went and I shoved his head directly up his own asshole. Oh, well, good reason, is what they'll say. And if they don't, quit that fucking job after you fold that guy in half too. Your daughter deserves to be raised in a place where she is safe. And if you're not the person that's going to make it safe for her, she deserves someone better than you too. I'm talking to you, Dad. Powerless, effete fathers. Sickens me. How are these girls supposed to defend themselves from a teenage boy? How are these teenage girls supposed to defend themselves from a boy in his 20s? Just nobody gives a fuck about their honor. All this girl wants is to go to university, get good grades, get a decent job, get pregnant, have a long life and grandkids. She doesn't need to be spoken to the way this dude talks to her. Unacceptable. Just unacceptable. And no one's going to do anything about it because I'm not getting involved. And the only person who will get involved is somebody who just wants the sex from her and thinks that the white knight is the way to get it. It's just despicable. Men are just despicable. Women are worse. Because the women conditioned us to this. Because it can't just be reciprocal. It can't just be loving. No, it always has to be conditional. It always has to be conditional. It's always held against us. Always held against us. I've known 37 women and 0 of them didn't make the love conditional and transactional. Didn't hold it against me. 37 is too many to be random chance. Too many to be random chance. Anyway, I grew up watching Ricky Lake, so I always maintain that there's that one. There's always the exception that proves the rule. So I haven't met the exception, so the rule is not really a rule, it's just what I've observed. Once you're married, then you can comment on the behavior of women who aren't your wife. But I am divorced. So I'm on the other end of that, where I get to talk about other people's, not just other people's wives and women in general, but other people's daughters specifically. Because as a divorcee with no children, I used to be responsible and required by basically law to get someone pregnant. If I wasn't getting someone pregnant, I wasn't doing my duty as a man approaching 40 years old. I approaching death. It's no longer the case, so I just stay away. But I might have met somebody, and that's nice. That would be cool. Because I would rather be building toward a future that people can understand, and if you've got a girlfriend who tolerates your homelessness, at least they can understand that being some girl's loser boyfriend is something everybody understands. And then you can empathize for her and feel bad for her like I'm taking advantage of her. And that everyone can understand. And I do it for the story. I'm a storyteller. I live my life for the story. So that means that I'm prepared for and I already have it mapped out. Maybe then my pelvis will begin to heal. God will forgive me for whatever. Devin, Laura, I don't know. Maybe God will forgive me. In a good mood, in a good place. I feel good. I've got $100 in my pocket. I need to spend 20 of it on a mic, but Mr. S, my supporter, at this point he's my supporter. He's a producer of the show. At this point, that's actually true. So my producer, my supporter, my financial backer, my Patreon subscriber, he said that I've adapted to losing my mic well enough. But he also sent me $100. So that's not mixed messaging, buddy. If you're hearing this, I'm not telling you at all that's mixed messaging. I'm telling you that I gotta make a decision. That I need to be decisive. Because that's one of the things that I'm constantly talking about is what men do is they make decisions. No, I'm not getting the same number of experience every time I level, or same number of mastery points. Alright, if I want to finish, what does this do? Is this couch rocks? Summons a field of whirling blades that can transmit effects. Yeah, get to that. Fuck yeah. I'm gonna have so many abilities soon that I actually want to replace this spear and shield. That'll be cool. That'll be a monumental moment for us. That's kind of what we were going for with this build, is to have too many abilities, lots of passives. Man, we got so much natural mana too that my passives don't even really take up spots. This character is proving really fun to build so far. Usually around level 20 I'm bored. I think I started talking about that these games, they just start to bore me because the skins are all the same, and then your improvement is so slow between once you get up to this level. But I'm not going to say that this game is doing a good job. I might say that I'm doing a better job of not slowing myself down during the grind and getting distracted, doing things that don't net me experience. But that's where I would like to I always take the time. I feel like I always take the time, but if I'm not, I always want to be taking the time, and I hope it's in your mind that I am still taking the time to be thankful that I get the opportunity to do this, because by now, on my other character, I'm bored, and I've been having a hard time just turning it on and playing on my own time, because this is boring to me on my own time. But doing it live for you and being allowed to think my thoughts, and maybe maybe when I come inside like this is a more appropriate time to read a book. And so maybe we'll just experiment with my flow, but it would make sense for me to be reading a book right now, especially if I can't talk,
and then to talk about the book instead of what's on my mind and instead of the conversations around me, because I'm sure that talking about the conversations around me is audible. I'm sure that the people that I'm talking about can hear me and don't appreciate me talking about them, and I'm sure that there's a certain amount of it feels ugly and gossipy to be listening to me talk about people that are in my company effectively, in my presence. I can respect all of that, but this is my work. Oh, I hit the wrong. Why did it turn on? Turned all my stuff off. Oh, I probably wanted that on that last fight. Shining Mastery probably would have been sweet on that last fight. Now all my skills are a level higher. Oh, I died. Am I super far away from it? Okay, I guess all of my buffs had fallen off for some reason. That's why it looked like I wasn't taking up much of my... Oh! My mana. Because now I'm taking up all of it. Half of it. That'll change when we start spending mastery points in Fire Element. Or Fire Mastery, rather. Elemental Mastery, whatever it's called, because it's Earth Mastery, because it's Earth and Fire. And then eventually, and this will be fun, we'll summon an elemental to follow us around and help us kill stuff. And probably next level, what I'm going to end up buying is going to set our whole body on fire, so all this stuff that's hitting us and doing all that damage is actually doing damage to themselves in addition to trying to hurt me. So while they're ineffectually wailing on me, they're actually making my life easier for me. Oh, bank. I actually have something I want to put in the bank. Thank you for being here. Oh man, I wish I could expand my bank slots. Fuck. Because I'm carrying stuff I would like to stick in here. What's this one? Oh, that's trash. I don't remember what the thing that I wanted to put in there was. Probably this. Let's just we can get that in there for sure. I don't know why I just did that because I'm still going to do this. Okay. Makes sense to me to put the completed ones in the bank and leave the uncompleted ones out of the bank. That makes sense to me. And it makes sense to me to put these back in my inventory. Because I can just send them to another character when I'm done with them, since I'm not really looting with this character, and we have so many. I wanted this to go in the bank. That's what it was. Like, we have so many of these, like the essence of the mirror, but we don't have a shield that we can put it on. So really we should sell it. I'm not going to. What's that red dot? Is that a respawn point that I probably should have used already? Moving on. Actually, we're moving back. I don't think that's where I died. I think this is where I died. Bingo. My abilities have real long cooldowns. It's all good. Revenge is mine. Choked on my own pride there. Oof. It's like God just suddenly shoved a dick down my throat. What was that about? Yeah, okay. I've helped the lowest of the low. Yes, okay. Even the priest won't help. You know what's really funny about that is there is a pastor who knows about my life who has told me that he wanted to have lunch with me, has my phone number, and ghosted me. I was ghosted by a pastor. I talk about helping the lowest of the low. Just roll my eyes. Vanity and fakery. Call yourself a holy man. Oh, I see. Wait. This is the one that's trash. I kind of want to hold on to that. Not for this character. Ooh, it's going to be a while before I take that bandit hood off. It's going to be a long while before we take that bandit hood off. The bandit hood gives us +1 to all our rogue mastery skills. So that's probably going to be on our head till the end of the game. I just don't care what these people are saying. We don't care. We don't care. I have not seen a man by the name of White. My brother is a skilled warrior. The story is long, so stop talking to me about it. What the fuck? I don't have time for idle chit-chat, then stop. Oh my god, he's still talking, and I'm miles away now. Like, we left the drive-thru 20 minutes ago, man. Stop talking to me. Anyway, let's go through the Gate of Palm, into the Artisan's Quarter. 53% battery. Got a little bit of correspondence. We might take a break to cope with that. Bam, 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 bam. Take that, sir. And that. Oof. Yeah, we're using our pokey stick for a while. This don't have to be. Throw. It's just so funny. It's funny every time. That's an axe. God, I thought he was throwing a ball. I can promise you, getting hit in the head with a throwing weapon hurts a lot worse than you initially think. You'd think, boomerangs don't hurt that bad. The boomerang reshaped my face. Literally reshaped my face when I was a kid. Kindergarten. Playing frisbee with a boomerang because I thought it was a frisbee. I didn't know the difference. it was a literal throwing weapon. I don't know why in the 90s it was common to give children actual throwing weapons. What are they going to do? What are they going to throw them at? One another? I don't know. You know, a boomerang is a hunting weapon. It's not just that it comes back, it's that it fucking hurts when it hits you in the face. That's why I use throwing weapons in video games and elsewhere. I have a main character in a series of novels who is a specialist in throwing weapons to honor my face. And throwing things is cool, right? Throwing baseballs, throwing footballs, throwing things is neat. Who puts a bomb in their fucking sepulcher? Those two? Jesus. What's wrong with you? Could you imagine if that became a convention into the future? Putting bombs in tombs to prevent tomb robbery? Future archaeologists don't know this. Stumble across an ancient, well, to them, ancient, now modern civilization. You open a guy's, you go start opening tombs and it becomes a whole thing. Like, okay, amateurs cannot explore this civilization. There are bombs every fucking where. This whole place is booby-trapped to the nines. How many video games did this civilization play? Jesus Christ. What do we got here? Just pick it all up. I don't know why it gives me the option of both. It's weird that it gives you that screen if you're playing a controller. Those are probably something where I can open. Oh! Look at that. I can see my chat all of a sudden. Thank you, Casey. I hope you also have a good day. It faded away, but how did I do that? They fixed it. See? This is why we bitch. YouTube is listening. Now get my camera facing the right direction when I'm in horizontal mode, guys. I clicked the button. That sword might be good, actually. We just picked up a sword. It might be good, actually. It might fit our build. Or sort of... Nope. Is that it? I thought it was something else. Bam. Go. Boink. Didn't need the full rotation. Cool. Those are just big. They're not actually dangerous. Again, like your boyfriend. Just thinking poison thoughts about Jordan Peterson and his cult of friends. Sorry. That's why my face is doing the things it's doing. Thinking poisoned thoughts about Jordan Peterson and his cult of friends, whose names I never bothered to learn because they're just too irrelevant. Too irrelevant to try to memorize. Not worth anyone's time. Oh, but they're mega famous. They're not worth your time. You just don't know how value works. Double check for my chat every once in a while now that I can see it. Do you want to take damage from me? Do you want to do damage to it? Do I have to take out my fucking range weapon? Oh my god. Can you please throw the potion bottle? Like, I'm not pressing these buttons so nothing will happen. Charm of Foresight. Getting hungry. I got a little bit of money. I would like it if these would pay for my food, but that day will come. Right now, the goal is the long-term gratification of 1,000 subscribers. If we can get to 1,000 subscribers, we can get to super thanks. Once we can get to super thanks, we can get to monetization in general. And then we can worry about sustainable incomes from ad revenue, which is the actual last thing I want, but that's the future economy, so let our corporate overlords pay for me with advertising. Pay for my life via their advertising budgets. That's what they're for. Let me at least provide you with a product that's not lying through its teeth to you in the meantime. Lying to you through perfectly clean, bleached teeth that cost as much as your car is not something I will ever be doing to you. Because I disdain those people. Hate. I talk about it because there's a version of Vincent that could have decided that he was done with his mother's abuse and killed her and her boyfriend. And that Vincent could have taken the route of someone like a darkly dreaming Dexter. The novel series, the TV show was fucking stupid, but the novels were good. Um, and if that Vincent had existed, he would be the kind of person that would hunt down people like Jordan Peterson. End them in ugly ways. Maybe we make a book series about a detective who hunts people like that. Choice killers rather than serial killers. You've probably never heard of choice killing. Human hunting isn't something that humans do anymore. It's too easy to just be a self-aggrandizing serial killer. Why would you be a choice killer? But they used to exist. I'm not encouraging you to be one. Killing is bad. It is bad. Unironically, it's bad. It's just bad to harm. To do harm. Heat shield. Cast a protective heat shield on the target that absorbs damage, particularly from fire. 10% of damage absorption. 4 burn retaliation over 3 seconds. 15% physical resistance. Barely any damage as far as healing us. It circles you in a searing ring of flame that burns all enemies that come within its radius. 5 damage. It's an active energy cost? Yes. Volcanic ore, blobs of burning, ore of brimstone. That we're not doing. And then this adds plus 5% physical damage and 19 burn damage to our weapons. Why is that on the other side? What is happening to me right now? Heat shield. They do not give me enough hotkeys. Now our weapon is on fire, we are on fire, and we generate a passive heat shield. What do you think about that? Also, labyrinthine warsuit sounds so cool. 9 strength, 52 health. This is the better shield. I turned off shield bash with this weapon. I know. Doesn't make sense that I did that. I know that. I don't need it anymore. Hmm. My skills are going to get a little confusing for a while, but I'll get there. Fire. Fire good. Yes, fire good. I see. Heat shield doesn't last forever. It has a it lasts for a limited time. Wow. So what that means is I want to put this. That's better. They died. They died. Yes, they did. I need to compare these real quick. Yeah, I'm making the right choice. I don't love losing that dex. But that's the right choice. This is the right choice. Dropping that throwing weapon is the right choice. And dropping shield bash is the right choice. They were fun, but my build is a little complex right now, so I like things to be simple. Keep it simple, stupid. Cool. I don't know why I can suddenly see my chat. Maybe I had to be over 300 subs. It might have been gated like that, but I can see my chat now, so that's good. That's good. Up we go. We are in the Canyon of Isis. Now we are in the Fayum Desert. See, if I knew where that was, I would know whether we're actually going north or south. Because Egypt rendered their map south at the top of their compass. So they rendered their map upside down from how we do. So, like, they rendered it based on the elevation of the Nile, of the actual landscape. So upper and lower are referring to the elevation. Upper is actually in the south, and so they rendered on their maps the upper Nile above the lower Nile. So the south on the compass pointed to the north. Or, I'm sorry, the south on the compass was at the top of how they rendered their map. So if they're sticking to how if this game, rather, the developers of this game is sticking, oh my god, to how the Egyptians understood themselves, us moving north, but or us going up on the map, but actually moving south, is appropriate. It's true to how the Egyptians saw their landmass and rendered it, more importantly. You're the one from Greece, aren't you? The one who killed the Talkin. Would you believe it? A Talkin was here. A Talkin did this. Just yesterday, these pillars were standing and whole. I have guarded this Promethean temple from thieves and desert beasts, but I was powerless against the Talkin. In truth, I was lucky to survive. I haven't heard of this Eye of Chaos. Eye of Chaos. I don't know what that is either. I haven't paid attention. I don't give a fuck. You have to go get some fictional magic MacGuffin to do some fictional magic thing. I don't give a fuck what. We're rescuing the world from something. And we're doing it reluctantly because all we give a fuck about is loots and killing fictional monsters and various varying degrees of unique skins. Making good profit. It's almost 2 o'clock. Making good profit on my charge on all of my batteries. That's unusual. Usually I'm slow by now on my external. It's only supposed to take 2 hours. So it should be keeping pace with my phone. So far it is. Good news. Good news, Batman. Hmm. I'm really enjoying the routine of my life, and I really appreciate the opportunity. You can ease my load, can you? Cool down on that language, pal. You're gonna get me all hot. Been out in this desert for a time. Like an hour. It's long enough for me to have forgotten the touch of a woman. Come on now. Because this is just, oops, didn't mean to, I don't even know how I did that. Didn't mean to do that. I don't mean to constantly look to see if anybody is here with me or at that chat. I don't mean to do that. Actually, I want to turn that off, maybe? Yeah. Maybe that's there for me to be able to turn on and off whether I can see the chat, not whether people can play it. But I always turn it on as soon as the first thing I do when I start my stream is turn that on. So maybe it's just been glitching. The text is even an appropriately large size so I can read it. Actually, if this is recording properly, every time I bring down my UI or open a text message on my screen or drag open the UI right here, you shouldn't be able to see it. It should only be recording my face and the game. So with any luck, this can start to look professional now that YouTube is going to actually participate in doing their part correctly. Maybe it was because I didn't have enough followers. It only makes sense to gate the privileges that you have to your subscribers. It only makes sense. It's an incentive to get big. They don't want small channels taking up as much hard drive space as what I'm doing. I've got almost 2,000 videos on here. I've got hundreds of hours of material. I take up a lot of space, and I only have 300 people, 1,800 people a month watching my stuff. So they want to incentivize me to try to grow, which means they want to incentivize me to have a good attitude about their stuff and the services they do provide. Which means they want me to engage in the culture as it exists. That's not how we work. We're here to work on the culture as it exists and make it better for everyone. Good on them. I do not like this song that's playing. She was every cowgirl or every cowboy's dream. Giving away the sex for free just because you were looking at her in public. Some dream. She's a touring musician. So she's telling a story that's as old as touring musicians, and it's funny because it's from the perspective of a woman who just wants somebody to touch her because she's forgotten what it was to be touched between gigs. Just don't like the song. I don't want to hear about it. And it's not clever. Like if a man wrote this song, it's SA, it's sexual assault. Like Maynard is in trouble now for allegedly Maynard James Keenan of Tool and a Perfect Circle is allegedly in trouble for inviting women or having women invited backstage in the early aughts for sex, and it's like these women, I guess, have just never heard of Diamond David Lee Roth and his prodigious appetite for 13-year-old girls. Or the guys in Led Zeppelin and their prodigious appetite for 13-year-old girls. Getting cold. I'm gonna go sit outside. It's nice. It looks nice anyway. It's not raining. I'd really like more than 67% of my battery before I do it though. Bow, 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 bow. Do pretty good AoE. I wanted to see what it would look like if I didn't attack. It looks okay. I'm also generating a lot of smoke, so I like to be outside where it's not as conspicuous. It's interesting to me that Panera's is the only patio in town that does not have no smoking signs up. I actually don't know the rules. Like I knew them in North Carolina. I don't know Ohio's rules for public smoking like I knew them in Ohio. Not like I knew them in North Carolina. I knew the rules in North Carolina. I don't know them in Ohio. I was managing restaurants in Ohio. I was managing gas stations. Or I was managing restaurants in North Carolina. I was managing gas stations in Ohio. Saying those backwards every time makes that story very confusing. So wait a minute. Was it Ohio or North Carolina? It was North Carolina that I worked restaurants. And so I knew the smoking in restaurants rules. Smoking at or outside restaurants rules. The pizza kitchen, their patio is so small that smoking on it or allowing smoking on it would probably just be dangerous for the smokers because it's so small and so enclosed. And Wendy's is a Wendy's. Their patio is also enclosed. It might be about their patio being enclosed so that if the patio is enclosed, non-smokers can't sit out there and escape it. But if I'm smoking on the patio here at Panera, it's open and you wouldn't even be able to smell it, very likely. But that's also probably not true because one of the women who used to work here smoked. She doesn't work here anymore. She still works here. I haven't seen her in forever. since the last time they cleared house. Rotated the people that work there, rotated through the people who work there. That was a few weeks ago. Anyway, she used to smoke. She smoked Winchesters. I know she smoked Winchesters not because I saw her pack, but because I could smell them, and I know what Winchesters smell like. So, when I say you probably couldn't smell it, I probably mean generally you wouldn't be able to smell that I was smoking. But if there are other people on the patio, I put my cigarette out if I have a cigarette. It's been a while. I like a cigarette while I'm gaming. I prefer a cigarette to a vape while I'm gaming. First of all, the vapes while you're gaming will hurt. They'll hurt you. Burn your lungs and the inside of your mouth if you're not paying attention to how often you're hitting it for how long. Whereas a cigarette's just bad for you. Pipe is preferable because a pipe will go out. And really it's about the hand to mouth. A cigarette it doesn't stop me from talking like a bag of chips does, and it doesn't transfer grease, salt, particulate to my controller like snacks will. Like the hand to mouth for this. If I'm like reaching into a bag of chips right now, I have to suddenly drop the bag of chips to get my hand back to the controller to play the game. Whereas if I were taking a drag, I could just continue the drag, let go of the cigarette. I'm not advocating smoking. I just thought it out. It suits my lifestyle and my established habits. And it's an appetite suppressant, so it makes me want to eat less. And just as far as germs go, it's probably less bad for me than chewing on my fingernails, which I will also just do. So with the impulse to do something with my teeth and my hands, something in my mouth. Oral fixation is what Sigmund Freud might have called it. Cool. Shroud of Eternal Night. That sounds cool. It sounds like something a rogue might like. Let's look at it. Actually, I bet I can convert it. Fucking A. What is happening? Stop. What in the name of God? Why does it do that? Why did it take the pointer away when I came in here? Weird. The UI of this game is just weird. They made a lot of weird choices. Moving my partials over here to make them easier to count. And these can just stay like they are. What's this? Essence of Anubis' Wrath. 6% of attack. It can enchant weapons. Can't use it. Can't use it. Alright, moving on. I spend a lot of time doing stuff like that, inventory management, whatever, when I'm playing by myself. I'm kind of playing by myself now, but playing for myself. The effort is being made to play for you. Was that 2 hours? Are we coming up on 2 hours? Coming up on 2 hours. Nice. Coming up on 70%. When we hit 2 hours, I might take a break, talk to my friends, and then we'll come back to this. might make the most sense is if I do a reading, go sit outside and read instead of playing so that I'm not bitching about how I can't see anything. Struggle with not being able to see the words on the page that I'm reading rather than the game that I'm nominally trying to entertain you with. And just spending the whole video bitching that I can't fucking see what I'm doing. Come back inside, charge my phone a little bit more. Hopefully by then my external will be charged, and then head back to the tent after getting something to eat, and yeah, hopefully by now you've figured out the routine. It's gonna be the same most days, unless I have a social engagement or I just need the day. I just need it for myself because I'm going crazy or something. I don't know. Chore days are difficult as well. So when I do laundry, which my sleeping bag is stinky with old sweat, so I do need to, next time I do laundry, I need to get out $20 instead of $10, and I need to do all of it. I need to do both sleeping bags, my blanket. So if you want to help a brother do laundry, if you watch this in the future and you're like, hey, it costs him $20 to do laundry, it'd be fucking awesome if you could hit my CashApp, PayPal, Patreon, buy something on Patreon. I meant to say Venmo. PayPal, CashApp, Venmo. I also have a Buy Me a Coffee that I don't like to send people to, but if that works better for you in Europe, great. If you were to buy one of my essays or something, buy $20 worth of material on my Patreon, that all cashes out to me. I have to give them something like 25% of it, but whatever. That's why I don't like Buy Me a Coffee, is it also they take a huge amount of it for themselves in a way that CashApp and PayPal and Venmo don't. Those PayPal, Venmo, CashApp allow me to use the money right from my phone. I can tap it right from my wallet. And then with CashApp, I actually have a debit card. So if I have to use a debit card, like at Walmart, do I really have to walk all the way out of here manually? We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. We don't want to walk that far through stuff we've already killed. What a weird... I didn't mean to use that potion. What a weird design choice. Did I miss something? Girls in the kitchen are having a good time. Just something lovely about when girls are laughing. The environment is one where the job can get done and the girls can be laughing. That's a place that I like to be. So I do like to be here on the days when the girls are laughing. The dudes who work here, temperamentally, their personalities are all super fucking annoying. Sorry, dudes. Well, not the dude who sometimes buys my lunch and knows my order, knows my phone number, so he just types it in. He's cool. So, you know that meme, from that movie, the fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. I'm out of here. But he's also leaving. He's leaving soon. Probably to go to school, but he's leaving at the end of the month. And there's a reason I never see him hanging out. He's just doing the job. There's a reason. It's because the other dudes are douches. Yeah, there's one guy. He's got long hair. He's real tall. Beard. He seems cool. Sometimes he greets me. I don't think he realized I was homeless, and I'm here every single day. So like the first few times he saw me, he was like, "Hey, what's up?" And then he would do the, "Oh, you're still here. Oh, you're still here." And then after 3 times of that, he realized, "Oh, you're going to still be here every time." Back on here. So now he acts embarrassed to notice me, but whatever. I don't care. Outer Giza. Do they think you can take? Do they think you can take a boat to Cairo? Do they think Cairo is on the Mediterranean? It's not. Where did we arrive? They're doing the thing where they're rendering the mini map up at the top of the screen upside down. We're traveling south, but it all looks north to being true to the lived Egyptian experience of this time period that they're representing. I'm not getting a huge amount of points. Like I was getting 5 and 6 points. Maybe I'm just wrote down. These granola bars are exceptionally good. They're actually better than these Dollar Tree granola bars. 6 of them for $1.25, and they're exceptionally good. They're actually a lot better than the Quaker Oats brand. Exceptionally good, actually, really good. They're very sweet. They're bonded together really nice. They don't flake. And the oats have really good texture. I like oats. I like oats a lot, but they do not agree with my digestive system. I ate a lot of acid, LSD, and then spent a year eating very little besides grains and beans and lentils. Vegetables and tubers. And then when I could get my hands on huge amounts of red meat, because oh my god, that diet, it's an Ayurvedic diet designed for Ayurvedic priests. And it keeps you on the edge of nutrient starvation at all times to induce visionary states, religious experiences. So you're eating, but all you're doing is really, as far as your nutrients, all you're doing is getting the minimum that you need to be alive and leaving your body feeling like you're starving at all times. Torturing your body to put it in a religious place. So, not anything that you're unfamiliar with me doing if you've been following the channel for a while. I'm absolutely torturing my body with starvation and homelessness. But having done that for about a year, it's just left me, it's left me lactose intolerant, and grains hurt me bad if I eat too many. Like, I can't eat cereal. Not without serious indigestion. But the funny thing is, I still like beans and lentils. I still like that diet. Like the food, I still like. And then the huge amounts of red meat in one setting really fucked up my gallbladder. My poops were green every time I ate red meat for a while. That freaked me out. Like bright Halloween green. was fucked up. Kidneys were working at a suboptimal level. I was probably just critically dehydrated as well the whole time. I'm only learning now that my whole life, I just have not consumed enough fluids, period. Sucking down a can of Mountain Dew because I'm cold or because I'm thirsty means that I'm dehydrated. Like if you're thirsty and then you can drink an entire like 8 or 12 ounce can, however big they are, suck down an entire 20-ounce bottle, that right there is called you were dehydrated. You weren't thirsty, you were dehydrated. And so my whole life I've thought that the impulse, I'm thirsty, I could drink something right now, is just being thirsty. It's being dehydrated. So I would wait until I was dehydrated to drink anything. That's bad for you. You don't see me sip as passively as I should even now. That's why in the mornings when I do those talks and I have that bottle of water, you'll watch me suck that bottle of water down. And if you don't like it being a bottle of water, you could invest the $15 or $20. It's really expensive to get reusable bottles of water. But here's the thing, I can't clean it. So once it's been exposed to the elements a little bit and it starts to attract bacteria, I have to throw it away. I have no way of sanitizing it. That's why I use the plastic bottles. I just refill the whatever it is. Dasani. I have it here with me to refill, so I could look and refresh my memory. I couldn't remember what I bought with our points, so I wasn't sure that I spent the level. But I did, because I could remember saying, we didn't get 5 or 6 points this time, we just got 3. Maybe we had completed quests that had given us skill points. That would make sense, actually, with what we had been doing in the game around those levels. I would like to gain another level before I step outside, a minimum another level. Enough, and I'm getting old enough that my teeth are finally starting to feel the effects of what I've put them through. And you might think it to yourself, well, that's gross. Yeah, but it's also something that I wanted to experience. I told you earlier today that I'm an experiential mystic, and maybe it's embarrassing, but like I didn't think I was going to live to be this old, and so it wasn't necessarily that I didn't believe the science or what my teachers were telling me or whatever. My parents didn't care about hygiene. It's not that I didn't believe, it's that I wanted to experience it for myself so that I could teach my kids and I could teach other people around me the why by embodying it. Well, I've got tooth decay. Why? Because I didn't do X, Y, and Z properly. And so like when people are like, wow, you do not look 38, you look 25. I'm like, I can tell you exactly what I did to not look old. And none of it was the expensive interventions, medical or botanical, that women use. None of it. Like, there's a reason this is the major wrinkle on my face. Smile lines are actually beautiful, turns out. Turns out a woman who spent her entire life smiling and now has lines, creases in her face because of it. It turns out you wouldn't know because her face isn't very often at rest. It's always smiling. So like my forehead doesn't have frown creases. I can't even get my face to frown or to crease with frowns because I just spent my 20s and my 30s smiling. Even when the people that I was smiling at or the circumstances I was smiling through decidedly did not deserve it. But our moms all told us that if you keep your face like that, it's gonna get stuck. And we all went, dumb bitch, what the fuck do you know? Turns out, she had lived for, something like 20 years more than you. She knew what the fuck she was talking about. I believed my mom. I listened to my mom. And it turns out my mom was the dumb bitch that I should have been going through the whole time. But your moms weren't. I've met most of your moms. Your moms are just fine women. Just fine. Powerless. Ineffectual because their husbands were entirely useless. I've met your fathers. Useless men. Valueless. But your mothers were just fine. Just fine. Average. Adequate. Fine. I'm having a really good time. I hope that shows. I really am enjoying this. Is further than I've ever made it in this game, I think. I'm really enjoying this. It was stressful, but we've got this build is working the way I wanted to. Now that I've got this fire around me, I'm not taking nearly as much damage. And if I get in trouble, we can always take even less. And now that is, it's so funny. I was talking about like Final Fantasy 2. Like if you don't invest points in your spells and your skills in other games that have skills like this, like points to spend, you're not going to get better. So like yeah, if I weren't spending, and I'm not spending, because I'm not spending points in my actual spells, they're not getting more expensive, but they're not getting more powerful either. I'm just trying to get my raw stats, and I'm trying to max out the rogue build, and then we'll start over from the bottom, and we'll just fill everything up. I see it down there. Hey, you fucker. Ooh, I thought I woke up your friend too, huh? I hit the wrong button. I need to be hitting. That's the button I meant to hit. Oh, we have more friends. Booten. Trap. Stab. Stab, stab. Poison. Our attack routine is pretty sweet, and that weren't too bad. Just fought a whole bunch of statues that were trying to stomp on my head, and it weren't too bad at all. Because we get to ignore 10% of the damage that they deal to us with our fire shield, which is almost done. Oh wow, the molten shield lasts longer than the cooldown. So if you have the mana potions, you can always have this on. Wild. That's unusual for defensive spells. Cool. That was a lot of experience. I must have just been leveled over leveled enough. Ooh. We don't need a staff. Ah, that obsidian helmet. Set. It's got a cool stat. What is that? Piercing retaliation. Oh, I want to wear that with a character. I want to play a character that can wear that gear. I want to get the whole set though, I guess, and then put it on a character. That would be cool. I've never done that in this game, and I think it would be cool. Alright, we have Eclipse 2 hours. Cool. We're at 80%. I could go sit outside now if I wanted to. I was hoping for a story beat, for something to happen. Bye now. What the fuck? Oh my god. Fuck stings. Took me right to the bottom of the dungeon, but this is a windy piece of shit. That burn in my mouth is almost healed, by the way, if you were curious. I also used to do a lot more natural ways of keeping my teeth clean. I used to chew a lot of gum. And I got together with a girl, started living with a girl who didn't like it. Wanted me to brush my teeth, and so my dumbass, I started brushing my teeth. I took it very seriously, got equipped, got very, very serious about it. And then the doing of that was eroding all of the old damage on my teeth that I was unaware of, and revealing holes and cavities that I should have gone to a dentist and had dealt with at the time when I was doing that. And then I lost her in my life, and I just gave up on it for years because it didn't matter. And now a lot of the damages are irreversible and really annoying. Like, there are several of my teeth I would just rather have pulled. But, I also had a girlfriend in high school whose dad had elected to get dentures in his 30s. And he was getting elective surgeries to have his teeth removed so he could have dentures. And that can't not influence you. My great-granddad had dentures, and so, again, I never expected to live to 40. And I figured that if I did live to 40, that I would be poor enough that eventually I would end up with dentures. And I have been very poor. Like, the kind of poor where you're like, I just can't afford toothpaste. I didn't know dollar stores existed. I really didn't. We were married, and I was married to women from the upper middle class, so they didn't know, and they were embarrassed to buy things cheap anyway. And so that's part of why I am the way I am, how I am. Like, this embarrassment is why I am here. Your embarrassment of my life and of being poor is why people who are poor can't get out of it. Being embarrassed to be the income that you are, to be embarrassed of your parents. One of the things I always said growing up is that I was just not going to be another boy who identified as sad because his dad didn't love him. And it's just like, God damn, if that's not the identity of every male on the internet. Maybe every male born since 1940. It's like my dad fought in World War II, and he saw things, fought in Vietnam, and he saw things, and now we just have this idea that dads are like that. And so even if you didn't see things, you act like you saw things. Oh, growing up in 2000 was so hard. I saw gay marriage happen, and it turned my world upside down, and it was like a battlefield. This is how people talk. I'm not hyperbolizing. This is how people talk during election cycles. This is how people were talking about the 2016 election, the 2020 election, the 2024 election. This is how people talk. And they believe it because they say it. And if you say it often enough, you just start to believe it, whether you meant to believe it when you first started saying it or not. It's like that song. It's like the song that never ends. It just goes on and on and on, my friends. Some people started singing it, not knowing what it was, and they'll continue singing it forever, just because it's the song that never ends. Some people started doing civilization, and now we're going to do it forever, just because it's too big to fail. You're going to keep going to your bank, and you're going to keep paying your rent, and you're going to keep going to work because this model is too big to fail. We've already seen what happens if we let things that are technically too big to fail. 2008 happens. Some of us lived through that with our eyes open. Some of us, by the way. My grandparents were watching Fox News, and I was flipping between Fox, MSNBC, CNN. I was flipping between all of them. I was reading all of the newspapers that were coming out, all of the articles, Washington Post, all of it. I was watching all of the documentaries, all of it. I was studying everything I could to understand how our economy works, because if it's going to collapse in 2008, I need to be prepared. You just stood there, your jaw slack, dumb. I'm not better than you, I'm just saying. If you want to think that you're better than I am, you're not. We have different concerns. It makes us different. It doesn't make any either one of us better. We might be better at different things. You might not be good at these games, for instance. You might not have the patience necessary to grind enough at the beginning so that it's easy and you just stay in pace with the game for the rest of the game. You might not have that level of patience. I do. I demonstrated how it actually is less time than you think if you just do it right the first time with Final Fantasy II last night. Kind of doing it with this character. If you just do it right the first time, you don't have to do it a second time. It's like when I worked at Steak and Shake, I used to tell people, if you clean the grill properly every time, once a month when we tear the whole store apart to get all the grease out from behind it, if you clean it properly, that doesn't take as long. It just takes a cursory wipe because there's no accumulation. If you've been cleaning it properly, there's nothing to have accumulated. My teeth are proof of that. If I had been cleaning them properly the whole time, they would still look brand new. They wouldn't have this big crack, and they wouldn't have the erosion here that's making them smaller. I see it. I see it worsening every day too. Like, I see how rapidly it's worsening. But I wrote about that. That was the first blog post, first journal entry that I wrote. I became homeless, and I sat down to write. I'm not going to be beautiful anymore at the end of this. So if you want me to be beautiful, subscribe to my Patreon. And it's like there's some of you who are going to go to my Patreon and see the tears and be like, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. This guy really thinks somebody's going to pay him $1,000 a month. No. But there could be somebody out there that's just like, well, I'm going to make sure that he has an apartment and everything that he needs. And then anything on top of that is just his and goes to the business. Because that's how he's been living for 2 years. He's been living that way for 2 years. Why would he suddenly stop because I'm paying him $1,000 a month to make sure that he has a home? Someone, non-zero chance. It's happened for other people. Now, if I were gay, it would have already happened. And if I were willing to sell myself sexually, it would have already happened. If I were a woman, I would have never been in any of the situations I'm in. And so men think that women's lives are easy because they can escape difficulty. But I'm not gay, and I'm not taking the gay escape route because men are the worst. Any amount of time around a man is too much. Some women really like it. Some men really like it. But the word for that is interesting. That word that came to me, that bundle of sticks, used to mean a man who was less than a woman. Because he enjoyed servicing men sexually. And women in our Scandinavian, Germanic, Anglo-Saxon language, the shared idea, women in those language systems and the thought systems didn't actually enjoy servicing men. It wasn't about servicing men. The women who did that were slaves and had no choice. And so men who chose to do it had a particular word, and that word was used way, way too often in the 1980s, moving into the early aughts. And so now we're just not allowed to say it at all. It's basically as bad as the N-bomb. But the F-bomb used to just be something that men wanted to be. It was the male version of a slut. You bought him for sex and you have a home and food. And that used to be a word that wasn't derogatory. It used to be a job. It used to be a description of how he or she lived. And then people got jealous. Well, I'm over here working in the kitchen, scrubbing all these pots and pans, doing all this work, and all she has to do is go up there and blow the master of the house. And she lives such a cushy, easy life. But there's a reason that you aren't agreeing to do what she's willing to do. And it's because it's not actually cushy and easy. It takes a toll. It takes a deleterious toll on the human soul to be treated like that with regularity. Would you like to know how I know? Because I can talk to you about how I know. I spent a year paying my rent by slinging dick to middle-class women. There's a deleterious effect on the soul. I just spent the last 4 years wasting all of my time catering to the needs of a woman. So I can promise you it's deleterious. It leaves you less of a person living like that. And so if you think these women who live like that live easy, lucky lives, you don't know what you're saying. And so I'll just say it again, I am grateful every day not to actually be a woman, that I was not born female. I don't know who she's telling in this song that she's a good kisser, but I wish she hadn't made this song. How many times are you going to say it? This is 4. And the telling part, she says 7 times. That's bad. That's a bad song. This would be bad if it were on a stage. I'm sorry, in a musical. And it were just a little soliloquy. Our music is so bad. She doesn't even have a good voice. She has a cloying and annoying voice even. And this whole white women, especially British white women, singing R&B in the Motown style really pisses me off. Because Motown was exploited racially anyway, and then British white women exploiting the sound of their music is doubling down on an ethnic crime. But it's not my battle to fight. Black people don't even seem to fucking notice. The Temple of Autumn. Why are we going to Autumn's temple? Autumn wasn't an official god that was recognized by the Egyptian state for very long. Oh, and it's a pyramid, I guess. This is a little dumb. Nehebkau. I was kind of hoping it was going to be Akhet Atum. No, okay, I was thinking Atum. Never mind. Yeah, Atum, Atum was definitely not a recognized god in their pantheon. That was the name of the mystical Egyptian papyri, the mystical Greek papyri tradition gave to effectively the God of Israel, same God, the mind of the universe, but that wasn't for 2,000 or 3,000 years after the Old Kingdom Egypt, and there was most certainly no temple ever dedicated to it. That's effectively a modern Greek name. This is a little silly, but they're doing their best. Take what they know and what they have available to them and reference it for people who don't know in a way that the people who do know will give them maximum credit. It's still a fiction, and it's not trying to be anything but. And then, like, just the, I don't know, the emasculine whinging. All I ever did was give you my blood and sweat and tears, and all you ever did was leave me here. Set me on fire just to watch me burn, he says. Whatever, I get it. It probably comes from a real place in his life. It just speaks to who he really is within his life. Powerless and effete. This is a song that if a woman wrote it, I would be like, good song. But a man wrote it. So he's probably writing it about another man. Which leaves me just like, okay, but in every pre-modern social pecking order, men who receive are at the bottom. That's why they're called bottoms. Okay. Do you guys? Do you? It only takes once. Like, boys, do you not understand that it only takes once? If you do something for her and she leaves you hanging, or she sets you on fire just to watch you burn, you break up with her. It takes once. If you can get her, you can get anyone. Because you have her. Girls aren't. I don't know, man. Guys are so afraid of girls. Like, oh, I don't talk to girls because of this or that. And yeah, I get it. You don't want to be accused of sexual assault, but also they're just humans. Not actually different than you. They are. They're not actually. Not anymore. Girls have wanted to be just one of the boys for 30 years, 40 years if you count the 80s, for so fucking long that behaviorally, especially in this youngest generation, you're completely indistinct. Girls only act feminine and like girls when there are no men around, no males around to witness them doing it, because men have fetishized it and made it so fucking weird just to even laugh over the course of the last 40 years because of people like Donald Trump doing the things that he's been accused of doing. He absolutely did those things. They just weren't bad at the time, and you can't charge someone of a crime that wasn't a crime when they committed it. Even if it's a social crime and not actually on the statutes as illegal, it's punishable by the state. Like the state can't punish somebody for selling you something that you regret buying, in the same way that the state can't punish someone for having bad sex, just being bad at sex. Well, that didn't last as long as I wanted it to, and I didn't get off. Now I'm going to tell the cops, or I'm going to get it even worse. I'm going to get on social media and write a thread about how this thing happened to me. Go fuck yourself. If that were real, you would have made a police report. We're going to tank people's careers by getting on Twitter and writing out threads 250 characters at a time can kiss my whole ass. Cowards. Oh, we believe the victims. She's not a victim. She's not confronting she's not confronting her aggressor anywhere. She's writing rumors on the bathroom stall. And you should all be ashamed. Maynard's response to that chick accusing him of sexual assault was to say that her accusation harms the Me Too movement. The Me Too movement harmed itself by existing. Like, the name. Yeah, Me Too. Just underscores the fact that they were lying. Oh yeah, me too, totally, yeah, me too. Let me get on that. Let me get in on all of this attention that you're getting for things that you regret having done. Absolutely, let me get in on that. What else? That's why people think I'm doing this. They think I'm trying to get in on that sweet ad rev. They think it's easy. They think I think it's easy. They think they could do it too if they just... something. Just... something. Go back to in Memphis for this next section. My external battery is no longer keeping up with my phone. My phone is almost done. Charging, that is. Yes, everything you feared, and I did the thing that you asked me to do. Let's stop talking, please. There you are, fucker. Ah, the eye of chaos. Stop talking. God damn it, yes. Stop talking. Moving on. I guess that's probably the story beat that allows us to save and call this a live completed. Didn't bring up the chat that time. Is the chat old now? Weird. Okay, well, anyway, thank you for being here. I will be back. I'm going to do some reading or something. I'm gonna go sit outside in the sun for a little while because I'm cold and tired of being in here. And maybe we'll read some more Phaedrus. That sounds like fun to me, actually. Until then, and until next time, thank you for being here.